Hello there, I'm David Tennant, and you're listening to the Court Case Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Court Case Podcast with me, your host, James Court.
And your co-host, Sweet Tea. Here on Court Case, we put our verdicts on the controversial,
the important,
and the downright strange.
So join us in the courtroom for a laugh, a debate, and to learn something interesting.
Court is now in session.
Hello everybody, happy weekend. We're glad that you've chosen to come back and join us for another episode of Court Case. Obviously I'm here, James Court, the host.
And Sweet Tea, Teagues, Tegan, whatever you want to call me, I'm back.
Sweet Tea is here, back in the hosting chair, and she's got some good news as well, hasn't she?
Yeah, I've grabbed myself a job as cabin crew. A lot of you might know, the regular listeners, that it is my dream job, has been for a while, and the reason we've just been like cutting down on content recently is because I have been like in a 4 weeks intense training course for the job.
Yes.
And I've now finished that, and I start flying in April, which is now April when everyone's listening to this. Right now it's March for us. Big news, thought I'd share, and that's basically why we've been a little bit off the radar.
Yes, and now that her training is finished, she will get a semi-regular roster. Well, she'll know when she'll be working, so that makes it a lot easier for us to plan episodes and to record episodes and things. So thank you.
And collabs, we want to bring those back now as well.
Yeah, that's another reason why there's not been many collabs, apart from Sandra, of course, is just because I've had, enough difficulty wrangling Sweet Tea, who's a regular host, let alone getting another guest involved as well.
Yeah,
so,
100%.
Thank you guys so much for being patient with us, and we really hope that we can get smashing with some new amazing episodes and collabs over this, spring and summer.
For sure.
There's also, along with the good news, there is also bad news as well. I did want to give an update on Sandra.
Yeah.
So Sandra's episode, the Ukrainian one, which was 2 episodes ago, has been a big episode for us, and obviously it's still going on, the conflict in Ukraine. When I last had contact with her, she said that she was in a state in Ukraine, and the state just next to her had been bombed. So that's sort of like, if you're in the UK, if you're in one county, that's sort of like the next county on being bombed, so not far away at all. And after that contact, I've not heard from her in a week and a half. She's not been online on any social medias, and I've tried every protocol to contact her, and I haven't. So we are fearing the worst.
Yeah, we are worried, massively.
And we are really worried, but, I'm still trying the best to try and find out what's going on with her. But we will keep you updated if we can.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
We hope to hear from her soon. We're trying to find out, but we don't really know how.
I don't know how.
We're going to find out without hearing from her herself.
It sounds morbid, but I don't know if there's like a casualty list or something that I can find out, like a database.
Oh, I don't know.
I just want to find out
if they would be able to do that during it happening, if you know what I mean. Surely that would be something that would come at the end. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, people write the history books. They must have databases on these sort of huge events. But
well, as soon as we find out, we'll keep everyone updated
100%,
on it.
But we've got some interesting topics coming up today. We are going to be talking about, they've closed the Madeleine McCann case, so the court case.
Some people happy about it, other people are not happy about it.
We're going to officially give our verdict on what we think about that.
The way he says it, like everyone's been dying to hear our
I reckon
verdicts.
people have. Our show is called Court Case. We give verdicts on interesting things. I bet there are people that are like, what is the court case's verdict on the Madeleine McCann situation?
Right, well, if you have been thinking that, you don't need to think it anymore.
Oh, yes, 100%. Another thing that you guys might have noticed, which is amazing, is there are ads on this podcast now.
Yeah.
So you would have heard
hopefully it's still going.
It will still be going.
Yeah?
It's a permanent thing.
It was on
now.
our last episode, and we both literally just clicked on it to listen to it, and we both were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know. So hopefully we'll be earning a bit of money off that. And also something that I'm planning on bringing in that I'm going to try and set up with Acast, which I've been working and talking to them, emailing with them about currently, is a very small £2.50 a month membership for people that don't want ads. So you can subscribe for £2.50 a month and you can listen to our podcasts ad-free. I'm sorting that out at the moment. It's taken a bit of time for some reason, but I will keep you guys updated on our Instagram when that goes live if you want to do that instead.
Like Tesco says, every little helps.
Every little helps. Yeah, that will help our podcast loads. So other than that, we're going to crack on with all of the stories. We've also got some Courting with James coming on later on. But the first one that I want to talk to you about, T, is something very interesting that I found on the World Wide Web, which I've mentioned to you briefly.
Right.
And that is the funeral crasher.
Oh, yes, you have mentioned
You
this.
saw that one, right? So I've got a video. I found the video, and I'm going to play it for you and the audience here of the funeral crasher explaining what his job is. And it's just a very unique job that I never knew existed, and I just think is extremely interesting.
Well, I don't think it exists. It sounds like it's like his own business.
Yeah. But anyway, listen to this.
Bill, you're a private investigator. You also call yourself the coffin confessor. What do you do?
In short, I crash funerals on behalf of the deceased.
So people hire you. They tell you, say, a secret that they have while they're alive, and then they ask you to reveal that truth either at their funeral or when their will is being read?
Yeah, it could be at the funeral, the wake, the will reading, or it could be a private message to somebody delivered face to face. It's not a job for anybody that can just go and do it. It takes a little bit of nerve, but at the same time, it's a request that started, believe it or not, as a joke.
Tell us about your first client.
So I'm just going to pause it there.
My first...
because I spoke to you about this on the train yesterday, and then you asked if it was American, and I said British. Turns out it's neither. The man is Australian. So there's that. But what do you think about that? I will go into playing what his first client was like.
Okay, I'm not being funny, right? I haven't seen this video until now, and when you were telling me the story last night, that is not the man I would imagine. I know, obviously, everyone makes the mental images in their mind, but I just always... I don't know why. I always just assumed it was a middle-aged guy, just gonna doing it for a little bit of a laugh. But he actually seems like a put-together, older business kind of man. Do you know what I mean? It's really strange. But I am really intrigued to find out how he did get into the business, because I don't see how that would have just started. Like you said, it started out as a joke.
Yeah, that's the thing. Obviously, we're taking it from face value at the moment, but he seems like a good, genuine guy.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is what's really, really nice. But he's about to go into what it was like with his first client, which is an interesting story.
Yeah, I wonder how he advertises himself. Is it online, or do people just kind of know about him?
I believe they asked that question. No, they don't. People in the comments were asking that question. We got no answers. I don't know how he.
There was a woman in the
services.
video when who was in the audience when he was speaking, and she just pulled the most disgusted face.
There's a lot more of that. They all look really shocked, which is, I think, it's people that are just. When you're hearing that sort of thing, they're coming to terms with their own mortality, and they're also thinking about, I wonder what secrets could be revealed at my funeral, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think it's also, though, when I first heard it, I thought, surely that's a bit disrespectful. They're grieving a loss, and then this man just comes in and announces these deep, dark secrets. But... Yeah. I don't know. There's more to it.
No, yeah, because, you could say it's disrespectful against the people at the funeral, but you're actually giving the actual person that's died exactly
what he asked for, or she asked for, yeah.
Instead of a family just doing what they want to do. But anyway, here is what it was like with his first client.
Joke.
Tell us about your first client.
My first client was Graham. He was a gentleman that I'd been investigating a claim for. I got to know him only for a short while. He had cancer. He was close to death. We got to talking about death and the afterlife and all things surrounding death. And I suggested he do his own eulogy. He said he'd been to plenty of funerals where eulogies just aren't shown out of disrespect, or the families just don't show. And so I suggested I crash his funeral for him. And he took me up on the offer, and I did so. What
did he want you to say at his funeral?
He wanted me to out his best mate for trying to sleep with his wife while he was on his deathbed. He also asked me to remove 3 people from the congregation that he hadn't seen in 30 years. So why would they pay him their respects now when they could have, seen him when he was alive?
And you went through with it?
Absolutely.
What was the response?
Shock. And I'm interrupting a funeral, between loved ones sitting there and grieving, and his best mate's performing eulogy, and I stand up, interrupt the funeral service, and announce that his best mate's got to sit down, shut up, or bugger off, because the man in the coffin's got something to say, and this is what it is. and I'll open the envelope and I'll read aloud exactly what was said.
How bad
Wow.
is that? The thing is also the best mate was reading the eulogy. So he was trying to sleep with his wife on his deathbed, and he's got the balls to read the eulogy at his funeral.
Jesus.
The disrespect.
See, like, that's the thing. Like, I don't, for that, I think that's such a good, I don't know, me personally, I think it's a good thing in that situation. Like, when someone's done you wrong and you're not going to see them again. And like you said, why is there people there that haven't seen them for 30 years that are showing their respects? Like, I wouldn't want that. Like, if I haven't seen someone for a while, why would they then just suddenly show up to my funeral?
Yeah, that's the thing. And I mean, not to get personal, there was people, my dad was in hospital for a while, and there was people that came to his funeral that had the opportunity to visit him in hospital and chose not to. And but that's I completely agree with him there. Say, oi, bugger off, you had your chance.
Yeah, 100%.
So she asked him if the best man stayed put.
Did the best man stay put, walk out?
He left pretty quickly.
Why do you think some people take this approach to confess after death?
Well, most of it's because they haven't got the strength to get up and punch the people in the face that are hurting them. That's really what it is. I mean, it's not all bad either. I mean, it's good, bad, funny and sad. There's quite a range of funerals that I've crashed.
How much do you charge?
Between $2,000 and $10,000, but they don't need the money where they're going, and I never get a complaint.
Oh my God.
They don't need the money where they're going, and I never get a complaint.
Well, you won't get a complaint because they're dead.
I love that so much.
Oh my God. He seems like quite a, like, down, I don't know.
Down to earth. I think he's down to earth, yeah.
Kinda.
And up
but it's
front,
just like
honest.
Yeah, up front. That's the word I was looking for. The audience, though, they're just not giving him anything back. Like, they're just putting faces. They're thinking, what the fuck?
The thing is, as well, is he's right about the money portion, because if the person that's paying for this service is someone that wants someone said because someone close to them has clearly wronged them while they're dying, which means there's a good chance that that money that he's going to spend on this man was going to go in the will to those people that have wronged him anyway.
I guess so, yeah.
So he might as well spend them on this guy. So I think that this is a great industry. I think it should start thriving. And we should get some people in the UK doing
I wonder,
it.
I was going to say, I wonder how far that man would travel. Is he just going to do it, like, in his country? Or is he going to
come over here?
Come over here?
Yeah. So, I did want to get onto the main story soon, but there is another one that I want to talk about first, because I found something really interesting that I particularly think you would find interesting. It's one of those things where you'd be like, whoa, what the hell? So, there is a new documentary coming out on Netflix that is going into the Jimmy Savile thing.
Okay.
You're aware of who Jimmy Savile is? Mm-hmm. And there's been a few documentaries on him already. Louis Theroux particularly did a really good one. He did one when Jimmy Savile was alive. The stuff hadn't been... The stuff... I don't think the stuff had come... Well, the stuff didn't officially come out until after he died. That he was obviously a pedo. But he walked around with him and he saw his day-to-day life when he was getting older. And I think he put the documentary together after it died about it. But anyway, there's a new documentary coming out about Jimmy Savile, and I find the whole thing thoroughly interesting. I think I've got his thing up here. Just the fact that, like, it's disgusting how people hide things.
Yeah.
Just the fact that Jimmy Savile was a huge part of the BBC. Obviously, he had that show Jim Will Fix It, where he got little things to do, stuff like that. But anyway, I found a video of an interview of someone in 1978 basically saying that they knew what Jimmy Savile was doing, and that they said that the BBC are going to cover it up. There is a band, very famous band called the Sex Pistols that you might have heard of.
I have heard of them.
They were a punk band in like the 70s and 80s, and there was a musician called John Linden. He was like the singer and guitarist. He was also called Johnny Rotten. You might remember him, possibly. He used to do butter ads on TV.
I don't know.
Anyway, that's him there. But we not got a picture. That's Jimmy Savile right there.
Yeah, I was going to say looks like Jimmy Savile.
But basically, there's this 2-minute clip, and some people might have heard of it, but there's some people that haven't. And basically, he says in this clip, he says, I know stuff and you know stuff about Jimmy Savile. He says, but you're not going to air this interview now. It's really interesting.
Wow.
And this is back in 1978, and it didn't come out until 2011, all the shit he'd done.
That's awful.
I know, so I wanted to play that.
Do you think you're going to make a film?
Huh?
Would you like to make a film?
Yes. In it, I'd like to kill a lot of people.
How many people?
Oh, about 200.
So I'm just going to pause that there quickly. He's a punk rocker, and punk rock people were very looked down upon at this time. They thought they were, indoctrinating the youth. They thought they were making youth into drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. And so he's just doing punky things, saying he's going to make a film about people he wants to kill. But anyway, he goes on to say this.
Well, they'd all be famous names. I'd love to kill Mick Jagger on film, but I bet he'd never do it because his ego would be deflated or something absurd.
Might be good for his public image. So who else is on the list then? On the goner list?
Oh, it's endless, believe me. It's easier to list the people I don't want to kill.
A serious thing.
All 5 of them.
So how you going to go about this massacre?
I don't know. I just want to make a film of it. On film, I'd like to kill Jimmy Savile. I think he's a hypocrite. I bet he's into all kinds of seediness that we all know about but are not allowed to talk about. I know some rumours.
Yeah, people always tell you things, don't they?
I'm a bitch, don't you think?
On occasion.
I bet none of this will be allowed out.
I shouldn't imagine libelous stuff will be allowed out.
Nothing I said is liable.
How mad is that?
Fucking hell.
And what I find really interesting
I don't know how we got away with it. I really don't know how people were happy to cover it up.
Yeah, the BBC, I know, it's disgusting and it's skanky and it's awful, isn't it? And
so he is British, right?
Jimmy Savile's British, yeah. And it's all the BBC. He was a bit I don't think people in America knew him until this stuff came out. He was only really popular in Britain.
Fucking hell.
Like, it's mad because people when you think about it, people like the punk rock scene at the time in the 70s, 80s, they were seen as the delinquents, the ones that were poisoning the youth with songs about drugs and alcohol and things like that. Yet, here is a punk rocker here who was literally trying to bring justice to proper crime and disgusting behaviour. I'm
baffled by how long and why, why would you cover it up for that long, and how did you cover it up for that long? Was there a lot of money funded into was Jimmy Savile paying people off? He must have been left, right and centre.
I know, it's very...
How old was he when he passed? And how?
He was old.
Was he?
He was old.
What did he pass off?
He died at 84.
Fucking hell, he lived a long life as well.
Yep. Immediately after Savile's death, the BBC Newsnight programme began an investigation into reports that he is a sexual abuser.
Immediately after. So that is suspicious that he was obviously paying a lot of people to not talk about it.
It's also it's the BBC's reputation. That's it, isn't it? They just my God, his Wikipedia write-up is extensive.
Massive.
But it says they're doing a dramatisation.
Was he married?
Good question. Is there a personal life?
It go up. It's normally under that bit there.
What, early life?
Oh, the born and died bit. It's normally
died,
spouses.
Resting. Well, it doesn't say he had any spouses.
So I don't think he did.
It looks like they're doing a dramatisation about it. It says they've announced. Yeah, a lot of it is the BBC trying to protect their image and stuff like that. But I just think it's disgusting that you have blatant crime there. And also, well done, John Lydon, because he probably put his career on the line saying that.
Well, if that never got released, how is it on YouTube now then?
Well,
was it released afterwards?
Yeah, I remember Piers. Piers Morgan used to that show, Piers Morgan's Life Stories, where he would get people on and just talk about their life. He got him on, and they aired it then.
Oh wow!
And he was like, "Look, I was fucking telling the truth, wasn't I?"
My God,
ridiculous behaviour. But, I just feel sorry for all the victims involved. I ain't going to watch that documentary because I think it's interesting.
Yeah, no, that will be really interesting.
And the victims will probably get to speak in that, which will be nice. I would love for them to discuss the covering up in it because I want to know exactly what went into covering up, why they covered it up, silencing people like him from the Sex Pistols. I find that very interesting.
God, you've got to be so powerful to be able to do what you're doing and people not even be able to talk about it.
Also, the balls. You're a person in the limelight that has the balls to do disgusting stuff like that and just know you're going to get away with it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's rank.
Even if I wanted to do something, if I was famous and if I wanted to bloody shoplift from a store, like nick a Mars bar or something, I would be nervous that there would be something with a camera there ready to tweet, James has just stolen Mars bars from Co-op. Like, how they have the balls to do shit like
I
that.
get what you're saying.
Mental to me. But we are going to get to the main story, Madeleine McCann, the disappearance and why the case has been closed. All of that right after this. Welcome back. I hope that you enjoyed the adverts that we've been blessed with at the moment to enjoy. So we're going to get into the main crux of today's episode, which is the disappearance of Madeleine McCann. So news came out earlier this week, last week, because we're from when we released this episode, that they are closing the case on Madeleine McCann after 15 years.
There's a lot of people that aren't happy with it.
There's a lot of people that aren't happy. There's a lot of people that are breathing a bit of a sigh of relief over this, and I want to talk about all of those. Mixed opinions, yeah. So it's been nearly 15 years since British 3-year-old Madeleine McCann went missing while vacationing with her family in Portugal, and the investigation opened by London's Metropolitan Police is set to end soon. Reports say funding for the investigation will expire in September. Reports say the case will be closed at the end of the year. So, Sweet Tea, I saw that pop up on Twitter, but you have seen TikToks on it, and you said that there's been interesting comments on some of the TikToks.
Yeah, people have posted it on TikTok, and there's been some people being like, the main one I saw was someone being like, oh, why are people applauding that the case is being closed? This Madeleine deserves so much more. It's not solved. It's never going to be solved. And like, I get where she's coming from, because obviously it's really, really sad for the child, and she's never, we've never figured out what's happened to her. But it's like everyone else was replying to this person being like, we've spent 15 years and a lot of money on this case. Think about all the other cases that, you know, haven't been solved as well, and that hadn't spent this much funding on, and hasn't spent this much time on, and everything like that. So it's about like fairness. Do you know what I mean? Like, if there's no new evidence coming to light with this Madeleine McCann situation, then you can't just like keep it open, because like you're not. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not gaining anything.
They have searched for her more years than she was alive when she went missing.
Yeah.
By quite a margin.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. So many more people go missing every single day that aren't getting investigated. There's a thing called the white woman problem, which is basically where if it's in the news, if someone goes missing in the news, the only time it will make headlines is if it is a white woman. Not if it's a white man, not if it's a black man, not if it's a black woman, not if it's any other ethnicity. It normally makes the headlines if it's a white woman that has been murdered or has gone missing.
Wow, I didn't know that. Is that actually like true?
Yeah, there's statistics and everything. It's so prevalent.
Wow.
So it's a big thing, and you're right. And also, not only will she deserve more, is another one of the comments that keeps coming up, which she did. But the thing is, they wasted 15 years investigating things that didn't need investigating, going down avenues that didn't need to go down, because, well, I'm going to get to my verdict.
Well, yeah, because there was also people as well. There was another person, which is, I think this is the first time online that I've seen this opinion. Someone said the family deserved so much more.
Yeah.
It's good that they've closed this case, because now they can rest without the worries. And I thought, one, that's a really interesting topic, because if you didn't, a lot of people think that the parents did it. So you're saying like, oh, they can rest, they don't have to worry about the case. Surely they're going to relax now more that the case is closed, because they're not going to get caught. But then there's other people that have the opinion of, if the case is closed, and they're not going to rest because they haven't got their answers. So you can't win. Do you know what I mean? Because some people are like, oh, it's a good thing for them, but then other people are like, it's a bad thing for them. But then there's other people that think they're the bad people that killed them. Killed her, sorry.
I'm going to give a tease to my verdict later on. The parents already know the answer. That's what my verdict is. But I've got a rundown of when she went missing here. So we're going to go through that, and then I've also got an article on, some theories as to why certain people might have been guilty.
Go on then.
Well, what are your thoughts first on who do you think is the?
I mean, if I'm completely honest, I think the parents did it by accident, though.
I think the parents did it by
I feel like the
accident.
people are just jumping straight to the parents did it, and they're not appreciating the fact that I don't think they actually, if they did do it, they didn't mean to do it.
Oh, they absolutely didn't mean to do it.
I don't think they're genuine murderers, because they don't seem like they're horrible people. I just think that they, sipped a couple too many sleeping pills and then has just been covering it up for 15 years, and that's crazy.
But the thing is, sleeping pills is already criminally negligent, because you're not supposed to give kids sleeping pills anyway. But obviously they didn't mean to kill their kid 100%, but they still were they were criminal, and they should be brought to justice. But we're going to go through
another
that.
Conspiracy theory, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just feel like if it was the parents, we'll never know unless they're on their deathbed, kind of thing.
So,
do you agree?
And now that the case is being closed, yes, I don't think we'll ever find out. In my opinion, they've gotten away with it, which
that's if they've done
great
it. Yeah,
for them. Yeah, so that's my opinion is they've done it.
Right.
Newsflash, guys. And so, in my opinion, if the case is getting closed at the end of the year, then that means they've gotten away with it, and we'll never find out.
Well, they can always open the case back up, because they have done that over the past 15 years anyway.
If new evidence came to light, yes.
Yeah.
So. But it was on the 3rd of May 2007. They're at a place in Portugal, resort. It was the penultimate day of the family's holiday, so day before they were going to leave.
Right.
So, over breakfast, Madeleine asked the parents, "Why didn't you come when my brother and I cried last night?" After the disappearance, her parents wondered whether this meant someone had entered the children's bedroom. Her mother also noticed a large brown stain on Madeleine's pyjama top. So basically, in the evening, when the parents would put Madeleine and her two twin brother and sister, I think, to bed, they would go down to a tapas restaurant with another group, with a group of parents called the Tapas Five. They get named as in the news, and they would have tapas and drink with them while they were asleep in the beds. So the children spent the morning in the resort's kids' clubs, then the family lunched at their apartment before heading to the pool. Kate took the last known photograph of Madeleine at 2:29 that afternoon, sitting by the pool next to her father and 2-year-old sister. The children returned to the kids' club, then at 6 o'clock, their mother took them back to 5A, that's their room number.
Right.
While their father went for a tennis lesson. The McCanns put the children to bed at around 7 o'clock. Madeleine was left asleep in short-sleeved, pink and white Marks & Spencer's Eeyore pyjamas next to a comfort blanket and a soft toy cuddle cat. 8:30, the tapas restaurant. At 8:30, the parents left 5A to dine with their friends in the Oceans Club open-air tapas restaurant located on the other side of the pool. Do you reckon people, don't go to this resort anymore because of
I've no idea.
Here? It's probably got to be a stain on
I
there.
have no idea. I know that it was shut down for a while after this case, because obviously they were investigating it, and then it took a while for them to get people back in. But I do think the resort is now up and running again.
Yeah. So 5A, their room, lay about 55 metres from the restaurant as the crow flies. Do you know what that means?
What?
As the crow flies.
I don't know what that means.
So basically, if you're looking at something from point A to point B, crows, a bird, flies straight. They don't have to move around anything. So if you've got a table here and something over there, as the crows fly would be how long it is just going straight.
Right.
Whereas a normal human way would be going through paths and around things.
Okay.
So it's 55 minutes as the crow flies. But getting to the restaurant involved walking along a public street to reach the doors of the Ocean Club Resort, then walking through the resort to the other side of the pool, a distance of about 82 metres. So the patio doors could be locked only from the inside, so the McCanns left them closed but unlocked. So the doors were closed but unlocked to McCann's room, with the curtains drawn so they could let themselves in the way when checking on the children. There was a child safety gate at the top of the steps from the patio and a low gate at the bottom which led to the street. The resort staff had left a note in a message book at the swimming pool reception area asking that the same table, which overlooked the apartments, be block booked for 8:30 for the McCanns and friends every evening for the last 4 evenings of the holiday. The message said the group's children were asleep in the apartments. Kate believes the abductor may have seen the note. The McCanns and their friends left the restaurant roughly every half hour to check on their children. Jerry carried out the first check on 5A at around 9:05. The children were asleep and all was well, except that he recalled having left the children's bedroom door slightly ajar, and now it stood almost wide open. He pulled it nearly closed again before returning to the restaurant. So the dad did the first thing. So at 9:30 was when Kate intended to check on the children. Kate had intended to check on the children at 9:30, but Matthew Oldfield, one of the Tapas 7, it's Tapas 7, not Tapas 5, sorry, offered to do it when he checked on his own children in the apartment next door to 5A. He noticed that McCann's children's bedroom door was wide open, but after hearing no noise, he left 5A without looking far enough into the bedroom to see whether Madeleine was there. He could not recall whether the bedroom window and its exterior shutter were open at this point. Early on in the investigation, Portuguese police accused Oldfield of involvement because he had volunteered to do the check, suggesting to them he had handed Madeleine to someone through the bedroom window. Jesus. I think that's bollocks and a bit of a stretch, but yeah, fair enough. So Kate made her own check of 5A at around 10 o'clock. Scotland Yard stated in 2013 that Madeleine was probably taken moments before this. Kate recalled entering the apartment through the unlocked patio doors at the back and noticing that the children's bedroom door was wide open. When she tried to close the door, it slammed shut as though there was a draft, which is when she saw that the bedroom window and its shutter were open. Madeleine's cuddle cat and blanket were still in the bed, but Madeleine was gone. After briefly searching the apartment, Kate ran back towards the restaurant screaming, "Madeleine's gone, someone's taken her." Now this, in my opinion, for how the parents did it, was the mum's first mistake.
Why?
Because on instinct, sorry, let me get nearer to my mic. On instinct, normally, when you see something missing or something lost or something like that, you would just go, "Oh my God, someone's gone. Where are they? What's happened?" You wouldn't immediately jump to "someone's taken her," unless you were going to say that already. You would just be like, "Madeleine's gone. Where's she gone?" If she's in a holiday resort and it's a small child. I remember I was I don't remember, but my parents thoroughly remember. When I was really young, I was about 5 or 6. We went on holiday to Disneyland in Florida. Lovely place. And I was obsessed, my little boy was obsessed with the breakfast mornings. You would go and have breakfast a bit away from your room, and all the characters would come and say hello while you're eating breakfast.
That's adorable that you loved that.
So I was obsessed. So one morning, I woke up really early and I ran down to the restaurant on my own before my parents were even ready to go.
Oh my God.
So obviously...
Oh my God, that's so cute.
I know. And basically Dad had to run down to the restaurant and try and catch me. But my parents didn't just go, "Someone's taken James." They were just like, "Fuck, he's run off in the resort. Where's he gone?" Right? And if you're in a family resort, she would have come out and be like, "Oh my God, where's Madeleine gone? She's run off somewhere. What's happened?" You'd
go straight up to your husband and be like, "Buck, come with me. Can't find Madeleine. Let's go and look for her."
Yeah.
Like, get away from this tapas place.
Saying someone's taken her makes it seem prepared.
Makes it seem like you felt like your kid was being watched and you thought maybe this was going to happen.
Yep.
I get what you mean.
So, and that's the first thing. And so... my opinion on the whole thing is the McCanns are doctors. They are both, I believe they're both doctors. They're middle-class doctor people. They have gone on this family holiday. They like to drink, have a bit of tapas with their friends while they all still have kids. I reckon as doctors, they gave Madeleine McCann sleeping pills so they wouldn't disturb them while they were eating and drinking. I think that they then gave her too many. She died. They staged this whole thing. I think that's it. I think that's cut and dry. And there's many things. I've got an article on theories here as to why this holds water.
My question is though, right?
Yeah.
So say that did happen, say that she did die. So
Yeah.
you're saying that when she did go in, when the mum did go in, and she said that she didn't see Madeleine, she did see Madeleine, but Madeleine was dead. And then she goes running down saying that she's been taken to everyone else. So the Tapas 7 all think that she's been taken, but then him and her and the husband are then going to go and cover it up quickly before they go up there and have a look. What's the next step?
I think there's a possibility that the Tapas 7 all agreed together that they knew, and they agreed to not say a word about it.
Really?
I think that is a possibility.
Are these Tapas 7 like friends that they made out there, or
No,
they went together?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that they're all sort of middle class doctory people.
So do you think
They're
then
all like
when
that.
he went, the guy that first volunteered after the dad, he noticed that, maybe something wasn't right, went down, said something, and then that's why she went up like
I
bit
think
after.
I think generally he probably saw her either dead or sleeping, assumed she was sleeping in bed, and then went back down. I think Kate went down, checked up on her, knows her daughter better, saw that she was actually dead, and then that's when she, quickly hid the body somewhere, said that
This
she
is
was
the
missing,
thing.
and then
Where
they hid
the
the body
fuck
properly next
is
morning.
the body?
Well, let me just scroll through. There's theories and things. Because I think last year or during lockdown, Netflix did a Madeleine McCann documentary, didn't they? And apparently they go into stuff like that because the McCanns were not happy with the Netflix documentary.
Right.
So, early suspicions. During one of the first press conferences following Madeleine's disappearance, Kate and Joe McCann were asked by a German radio reporter if the finger of suspicion was being pointed at them, and they denied it, even though it was. Here you go, the Pact of Silence. So this is one of the theories. The mysterious Pact of Silence is one of the many theories addressed in the new Netflix documentary. It was actually the original headline on a controversial article by Portuguese journalists. The McCann's holiday with 7 friends and their 5 children in Portugal, and they dined together almost every night at their resort's tapas restaurant. Sorry, my speaking is terrible. Which led to the media labelling the group the Tapas 7. Bum bum.
Right.
Felicia told the documentary makers that she found it odd that local police had not properly investigated the McCanns because we know that in most cases the culprit is someone who is close to the child.
Mm-hmm.
That's in murders, in missing people. That's a lot of the case.
9 times out of 10, probably, yeah.
Was it Sergeant Hopper in the first season of Stranger Things when Will goes missing? He says 95% of the time a missing child is with a parent or a relative. That's what he says. One of the odd inconsistencies she found was in Jerry McCann's claim that the table at the restaurant had a direct line of sight to the apartment, which is why they chose to dine there. From the position I was in, it was completely impossible to see the apartment or the room where they had left the children to sleep. As an investigative journalist, I have to ask why. Why would you lie about such a simple thing?
Wow. So he went to the hotel and investigated it?
Investigative journalism. So some people do that.
Yeah, that's fair.
They also heard that the Tapas 7 gathered to work out their timeline and then revised it. The word that we ended up using in the title Pact came from David Payne, one of the McCann's friends, when he said that they had agreed with Jerry not to talk about what happened. There seems to be an alliance between everyone to protect someone. So they've even said in the press before, one of the friends has said that, yeah, we talked to Jerry and we said that we're never going to talk about it. That's already extremely suspicious. Despite the rumours, both the McCanns and the Tapas 7 have since always denied any such pact existed. Fair enough. In May 2007, the McCanns set up Madeleine's Fund, leaving no stone unturned. If this theory is going where I think it's going, which I know about, I'm disgusted at this next bit.
Okay.
A charity designed to accept financial donations to assist with the mounting legal cost associated with the case. So basically, the McCanns both set up a charity to help fund the investigative case and the legal costs of looking for Madeleine. Right? Millions of pounds were donated by high-profile Britons and celebrities, including J.K. Rowling, Richard Branson and Simon Cowell. All of them donated to this. But in October 2007, the McCanns were criticised for using some of the fund to make 2 mortgage payments. So they used some of the charity fund to mortgage their house.
How do they know that, though?
Well, you'd have to see, if you're setting up a fund like that, you have to make records legally of what the money is going to and where it's going from. And the records will be public or will be known by lawyers. So that's how, you can't just take charity from people and then hide where it's going. People are giving you that money.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's how they found out. But in October 2007, the McCanns were criticised for using some of the funds to make 2 mortgage payments.
And nothing was done about that? Nothing.
I don't think so. They defend their decision at the time, with the family spokesman, Clarence Mitchell, issuing the following statement. The fund has always had the ability to assist the family financially if necessary. They're middle-class doctors. They do not need financial help. If anything, a bit morbid, they've lost a daughter, so they're saving some money. But as soon as the couple were formally named suspects in the case, they no longer used the fund for personal expenses. So as soon as they were thought to be involved criminally, they, made themselves clean cut again.
Oh dear.
When they were made suspects, it stopped, which was a mutual decision on the part of the fund and the McCanns. They were happy to accept that their changed status meant they were no longer entitled to that assistance. So, Portuguese police discovered 2 DNA samples in the McCann's hire car, one of which was a 100% match to Madeleine, were reportedly the type that had come directly from her body, not from clothes she had worn. So that means her body had been in the car at some point and had left DNA samples, which makes sense because, they were on holiday together.
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean after she died.
No. So they were interrogated by local police. Jerry responded to some questions, but Kate refused. This is another one where I'm like, what the fuck? Kate refused to answer any of the 48 questions she was asked over an intense 11-hour interrogation period. So your child is missing. I want to go back to when we were podcasting with Audio Mango and we did the topic on the woman whose baby was eaten by a dingo.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she knew she was telling the truth and everything, and she was being investigated by the police, and she was stuck to the same story. She gave as much evidence as she could. Her husband did as well. She never kept anything from them because she knew she was telling the truth. She knew what was right, and she went to jail for a bit, as we remember, but she ended up, telling the truth. Kate's daughter is missing. If your daughter is missing and you're being interrogated by police, you would want to be as honest and thorough as possible to make sure that the police had enough information to find your child, your daughter.
Yeah, especially if they're making out they're not guilty.
They asked Kate 48 questions. She didn't say anything to any of them.
Fucking bad, innit?
Any of them.
And then goes on to wash her daughter's teddy.
Yeah, yes.
That's
we'll
strange
get to
as
that.
well.
That is fucking weird as well. By now, police were alleging that the couple had faked Maddie's abduction and had hidden her body. DNA samples were actually fairly common. So, yeah, about the hire car. So you could find, there'd be DNA samples of you in, like, your mum and dad's car, tea and stuff like that. Yeah, of course. That bit's fairly common. They've always denied any guilty accusations. Of course they would.
Of course they're gonna.
Of course they would. But yes, so, well, this article I'm on as not listing any more theories, but that's another one that I want to go with that you just said there. So she got her teddy back from the evidence room or wherever.
Mm-hmm.
And most people, so here's another, for example, we went onto lockdown and, we didn't see each other for, 4 or 5 months, something like that. Just did it over Zoom in 2020. We sent each other care packages because we're both extremely cute.
Yep.
One of them, and yours, you left me one of your tops with some of your smelly perfume on it.
My God, you're literally outing us right now.
Right, which obviously, hopefully you guys go, oh, that's cute. So that
some
obviously,
people are probably going to think that was so weird.
I know, but no, I'm sure loads of people do that. So anyway, so and then obviously, I've got the smell of you is really nice. Now, your child is missing, possibly dead, right? Not you, Kate McCann.
I know.
And they get their teddy back from the evidence people. And instead of being like, so normally I would be like, I'm not washing this. It's got the smell of her on it. I want this forever. She washed it. She put it through the washing machine and cleaned it. So now the smell of her daughter's gone. All that's there is detergent.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. What is strange as well is if she is trying to wash it to get rid of any evidence or anything like that, then it doesn't make any sense because it was in with the cops' evidence anyway.
Yeah, I just
So
don't
did this
get it.
case, was this case being like solved in Portugal, or was it being solved in the UK?
The main investigation was in Portugal.
Right.
Yes, Portuguese police. But guys, I don't know. I'm coming to the end of our talk on Madeleine McCann now because we've been talking about it for a while. But
A lot of mixed opinions. Some people saying it's a good thing it's closed. Other people not saying it's a good thing that's closed. But I just think at the end of the day, with a case like this, been going on for 15 years, you're not going to win. Like, not everyone's going to have the same opinion. Not everyone's going to.
We need a court case verdict. From what I've told you there, what's your verdict on it?
I do think that the parents have something to do with it or have done it.
I have thought
because obviously there's another conspiracy theory where the parents have something to do with it and they know the person that.
Yeah, there's the paedophile ring conspiracy. Yeah, that they're all part of some pedo ring. Which I
don't know. I don't know if we'll ever find out. I hate conspiracies where you don't find out the answer. I know that's what a conspiracy theory is. But sometimes you do find out the answers, don't you?
Yeah, maybe one day. But I have thought that the parents have done it for a while. That's my court case verdict. And then I obviously and also not only that is I think that they've done it for a while, and I'm sick and disgusted that they've gotten away with it. So I regularly try and bring it up.
If they do get away with it,
so they never forget it.
If they have, if they continue now, that's it, and they have gotten away with it, and it comes out I don't know, on their deathbed that they did do it. Oh my God, everyone will be fuming, the money and the time. It's crazy. I don't know how they don't feel fucking guilty. If going off by they have done it, how they wouldn't just feel terrible. And I want to know what their opinion is then. If the case has been closed, what's their opinion? Is their opinion I'm so glad it's over?
I'm sure
or is their opinion, oh my God, I can't believe they're closing it? I just want to, I'm intrigued.
I'm sure there'll be an interview. But for me, this whole Madeleine McCann thing is a lot like Ricky Gervais with Caitlyn Jenner. Basically, Caitlyn Jenner once she killed someone with her car. She ran over someone with her car, an old woman, and then she transitioned, and everyone conveniently forgot about it. So Ricky Gervais regularly brings it up in stand-up specials, so people don't forget the fact that she murdered someone in a car. And so for me, the parents doing it with Madeleine McCann is how I treat that. I regularly just try and make people remember because I think it's 100% true and I think it's disgusting. I think they've gotten away with it. It's my view.
Yeah.
And so that's the verdict on court case. We're going to get to some courting with James to end the show. I've got found a juicy little Reddit thread, which I think will be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's going to get juicy. Oh, get saucy.
And we're going to do that right after the jingle. Here we go.
Before going into courting with James,
oh yes,
I went onto TikTok and there was a video on someone saying that the Sienna May might be dead.
Oh,
but I think it's a hoax or something.
Okay.
And Doja Cat has now quit music. She cancelled her tour last night. Well, as of when we're recording this, she cancelled one of her concerts and then turned around and was tweeting and turned around and said, "This shit ain't for me no more. I'm out." In music. So
did she actually tweet that? Or was that like an Insta story?
No, it was. I'm pretty sure it was a tweet from what I saw. I didn't research it for too long because it was literally just before coming on to record. But I searched it up on Google and it said she tweeted about how she didn't want to do music anymore. And then I searched up this Sienna May thing and it's saying that it's a hoax or it's not a hoax. There was loads of different articles, there's fucking thousands in seconds of it. So I'm sure we'll find out more on that. This will be released and it probably will come out that it was a hoax or something. Do you normally find though when it is when there's hoaxes of people dead, it normally turns out to be a hoax. I don't think I've ever come across a hoax and they actually was dead. Have you?
No, I completely agree.
So I do feel like maybe it is a hoax, otherwise it wouldn't have been mentioned. But I'm sure we'll find out soon.
Yeah, I also think that it's a hoax as well. I don't think
think the Doja Cat thing is a hoax. I do think that she is quitting music.
I found the tweet here. This shit ain't for me, y'all. Take care. But I don't know if it's a quitting music or it's about a concert in Brazil.
I don't know. No idea, but that's obviously what was saying on TikTok. So we'll just have to find out more updates as we go along.
But anyway,
this might be really late to the game though. By the time we upload this episode,
well, it's coming out. We're recording it this Saturday, and I'm bringing it out next Saturday. So
okay. I thought it was the week after. That's fine then.
No. So I found a Reddit thread called "How did you find out your significant other was cheating on you?" And so I've got loads of stories here of how people found out their partner was cheating on them. And I think that's quite juicy.
That's very juicy.
We can talk about some of them while we watch my mum and her boyfriend sort out garden furniture.
Oh my God, it's so weird that you called him her boyfriend then.
I know, well,
normally
he is,
just say his name.
Oh, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lovely guy, everybody. Anyway.
Highly recommend as a boyfriend.
Yeah. So, someone said, Dad Noises, that's a funny username, said, back when cell phones had limited minutes, I got notified that we were over our limit, checked the last bill, and nothing but her and her boss talking at all hours of the day.
Jesus.
Then she stupidly left her email open on my computer, and I got to read how he enjoyed touching her boobs a lot.
Ew.
Jesus.
That's so fucking odd.
This is one interesting. This was the one that I read before I was like, I'll put this on the show. She accused me of cheating out of the blue, made me jump through crazy hoops to prove myself, but believed me. Everything settled. 6 months later, she did it again. It took 2 more of these to see the cycle. Simple sleuthery led to the admitted truth that every time I was accused, she was the one cheating.
Fucking hell.
Someone replied to that and said, projection is a real psychological phenomenon.
Yep.
If they start getting suspicious, you better start getting suspicious.
Yeah.
It's weird that the mind works that way, but it does. My explanation is that for people who are newly starting to cheat, they see how easy it is to get away with, and they start wondering about if they're the ones getting cheated on.
Yeah. I see that.
Yeah, which is interesting. But also that's so scummy as well.
I know.
Christ. She missed our 10th anniversary to watch a movie with a guy she'd been seeing for 3 weeks and his wife. How does that work?
I want to know more. I want a fucking story time on that one.
But this confuses me the most.
Yeah, that confuses me massively. So she's just sat in the living room with her new boyfriend and his wife. They must have an open relationship or something.
It's got to be.
That's bizarre.
What's this one? I had a gut feeling he was in nursing school and I would routinely have classmates over to study. There was a younger girl and I got a weird feeling about her. I got out of work early one day and found her in my home where my young children were. They were on the couch, not doing anything, but I knew. He made up some bullshit story as to why she was there. He said the alarm at his parents' house was going off and he called her to come babysit.
What?
Yeah. A few days later, I asked if he could meet up near where he was staying to just grab a quick coffee so we could catch up. He declined. A few days after that, he was home and showering. Phone went off and he never locked it. I decided to look at his phone and there was a text from his friend Andy, who is male. At first I was like, oh, I'm just paranoid maybe. But I read the message and it definitely wasn't from his friend Andy. It was the girl from school. And the message clearly showed me he was cheating. He came downstairs and I simply said we should separate and start the process for divorce. He said okay. They are married now. I'm in a good relationship. All worked out in the end. Never ever ignore your gut instinct.
Wow.
So he'd changed her name to Andy on his phone.
Yeah.
What a dick.
They do anything to not get caught.
Yep. We've got the other woman knocked on my front door and asked me to take my kid and get out so that the two of them could be together and be happy.
Fucking hell.
The balls on that woman to turn up to this woman's house and be like, get out of your own house. Me and him want to be happy together. Take the kid as well.
Jesus Christ. What is honestly, people never fail to amaze me.
I know. Yeah. Here's one. My stay-at-home wife at the time got pregnant despite we hadn't had sex for a while and I had a vasectomy.
That's a savage way of finding out.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. She tried to hide her pregnancy under the guise of weight gain, but the medical statements in the mail gave it away.
What a fucking idiot.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
My friend told me that she tried to fuck him. Nice, quick, simple one.
Wow.
Someone put, my guitar at home was tuned to drop D and there were smoky cigarette butts in my ashtray. So that's how we find out. He goes home and he's like, someone's tuned my fucking guitar differently.
That's so funny. It's not funny, but it is funny.
Yeah. Oh, God. This one is a super sleuthy one. This is one where I'm like, this is how, obviously I don't cheat, but like this is how you would sort of discover because it's so clever.
Right.
Her Facebook
That's rule number one of a cheater, to say, I don't cheat.
Yeah, well, obviously. Her Facebook profile picture had his reflection taking the photo.
Yeah.
So she saw the profile picture, was like, his reflection. notifications.
Yeah. That's how to be fair.
Proper sleuth.
I literally notice that all the time on Instagram. I'm like a fucking weirdo, honestly. Like I know people from their walks. So like if I see someone in a background of a video or in the front of someone's video and like their walk, I'll be like, oh, that's so and so. Or if I like see like in a reflection of a mirror or a window someone's like body outline, I would know who it was that was behind the camera. I don't know, I guess I'm just observant.
Very observant. And here's the last one that I'm going to read out. So a guy went for just a normal STD test.
Oh.
Came back, the doctor walks in and goes, well, girlfriend's lying to you.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I know. God. Well, we hope everyone listening is not having any troubles like that at the moment.
I hope we haven't given you any tips either.
Yeah, us at Courting with James wish everybody happy relationships. And so we hope you guys enjoyed the episode today. We would love to hear your opinions on the topics discussed, particularly like Jimmy Savile and what you think on the Madeleine McCann case. We would really like to know about that.
And tell us your cheating stories.
Yeah, and if someone's cheating at the moment, we would love to hear about that as well. So please get back to us on our Instagram at Court Case Podcast. We will see all you guys on the next episode.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.